Hello students, today I am here with second poem of your book, that is geography lesson. So by the name, don't think that it is a lesson from geography. It is not like that. Actually, in the poem, the poet has given some geographical logics, some geographical reasons. That's why the name of the poem is geography lesson. Okay, so the poet of this poem is Zulfikar Ghosh. Now let's see what's there in the poem. Can you imagine what a city would look like if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? Neatly planned and perfect in proportion like a geometric design. It would strike you as something very different from what it actually is while you are in the thick of it. Okay, so the poet is asking that have you ever imagined that what your city look like if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? Okay, means he says that when we are in the ground, it looks like that it is neatly planned and it is perfect in proportion. It looks like a geometric design, but from the height you will find it quite different. Okay, so here is a poet's description of just such a view of the city and some questions that come to his mind. So actually the poet is traveling in an aeroplane and he is looking down to the city, to the ground. Okay, and some questions are also coming in his mind. So here the poet has given that description. Okay, so now let's read first stanza. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned, and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. In this stanza, the poet is telling that the aeroplane was taking off. Okay, इसने अभी start ही किया था. ठीक है, तो जब ये हाइट पर जाता है तो वहाँ से फ्रॉम दैट हाइट something was clear. The poet understood that why the people had arranged the city in this way. He understood that why the people had developed the city like this. Okay, and from that height, it was looking like that the whole city is covered only in 6 inches. One more thing, he found that why the city was looking so haphazard, means in disorder and unplanned and without style from there. Actually, the reason behind it was that the poet found that this was the people's compulsion. This was the necessity. Okay, so they have arranged the city according to their necessity, according to their needs. Okay, that's why everything on the ground was looking haphazard, was looking in disorder. Okay, when the jet sprang into the sky. And this was clear when the jet sprang, when the aeroplane was there in the sky. Clear? Now let's see second stanza. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. The logic of geography, that land and water attracted man, was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Now the jet means the aeroplane was higher. Now it was on the height of 10,000 feet. And from that height, many things were clear to poet. Okay, so that was the thing that was clear to the poet, that he understood that why the country had cities where the rivers ran. He understood that why the cities are near the rivers. Okay, and why the valleys are populated, that why the more people are living in valleys. So here he applies the logic of geography and he tells that the land and water together attract the man. कि जो लैंड और वाटर टुगेदर में साथ में होता है, सो वही लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करता है. दैट्स वाई द सिटीज़ आर नियर द रिवर्स एंड द वैलीज आर पॉपुलेटेड एंड इट वॉज क्लियरली डिलिनिएटेड व्हेन द जेट रीच्ड 10,000 feet. So this reason was clear to him when the aeroplane reached on the height of 10,000 feet. Clear? Next one, the last one. When the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. But it was difficult to understand that the man on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build wall across cities, and to kill. From that height, it was not clear why. So in the last stanza, the aeroplane गेट्स हायर, ठीक है, अब वो और ऊंचाई पर जाता है और हाइट पर जाता है. सो नाउ इट वॉज ऑन द हाइट ऑफ 6 miles, ठीक है. सो फ्रॉम दैट हाइट वन मोर थिंग वॉज क्लियर दैट द अर्थ वॉज राउंड. मीन्स फ्रॉम दैट हाइट द poet was able to see the shape of the earth, okay. And one more thing he found that the earth had more sea than land, ठीक है, कि यहाँ पर लैंड से ज़्यादा सी है. उस हाइट से उसको पता चल गया था. बट इट वॉज डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट द मैन ऑन द अर्थ फाउंड कॉजेज टू हेट ईच अदर. बट देयर वॉज अ रीजन which the poet didn't understand. He didn't understand that why the people who are living on the earth found reasons to hate each other. It was not clear to the poet that why the people had built the walls across cities and why they are killing people for the sake of their cities, for the sake of their country. This reason was not clear to the poet. So from that height it was not clear why. So at last the poet says that this reason was not clear to me from that height. Okay. So I hope you understood the poem. Now let's see the questions and answers. So here are the questions and answers. Let's see first question. Find 3 or 4 phrases in stanzas 1 and 2 which are likely to occur in a geography lesson. So we have to find some phrases from stanzas 1 and 2 which can be in geography lesson. Okay. So the answer is, some phrases that are likely to occur in a geography lesson are, the city had developed it the way it had. So this was the one. So this is the one first phrase. Second one is, it scaled 6 inches to the mile. Cities where the rivers ran. And the last one is, the valleys were populated. So how these statements can be, how these phrases can be in geography lesson, I tell you. Okay, so first one, the city had developed the way. It is talking about the development of the city. So it can be in the geography lesson. Next one is, it scaled 6 inches to the mile. It is talking about the measurement. Okay, the scale, that is 6 inches. So it also can be. Next one is, cities where the rivers ran. It is talking about the rivers and the cities. So it also can be. And the last one, the valleys were populated. It is talking about the population in valleys. Okay, so these are the phrases which can be in the geography lesson. Now question 2, seen from the window of an aeroplane, the city appears. कैसी दिखती है city window से? As haphazard as on ground, as neat as a map, as developed as necessary. So what is the most probable answer of that? That is third one. ठीक है, we read it in poem now, that the people has arranged the city according to their necessities. ठीक है, so this is the correct answer. So next one is, which of the following statements are examples of the logic of geography? ठीक है, so from these statements which are given below, you have to find out that which are the examples of the logic of geography, means which are correct according to the logic of geography. So you can see the statements and you can find out. As we can see, the first one, there are cities where there are rivers. It can be according to the logic of geography. Now the third one, it is easy to understand why valleys are populated. Now the last one, the earth is round and it has more sea than land. So these 3 statements are correct according to the logic of geography. You can see the answer, first, third and fifth. These are the statements, okay, correct statements. Now question 4, mention 2 things that are clear from the height and not clear from the height. You have read it in the poem, so you can tell easily. From the height, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. It was also clear that the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. So these were the things which were clear from the height. And from the height, what was not clear? In the last stanza, we have read it, okay? From the height, it was not clear why the man on the earth found reasons to hate each other. So this thing was not clear to the poet, that why people are hating each other, why they are quarreling to one another, okay? It was also not understandable why man had to build walls across cities and why they had to kill. This was also the reason कि लोग आपस में मीन्स एक दूसरे को मार रहे हैं और दीवारें क्यों बना रहे हैं सिटीज़ के बीच में. सो दीज वर सम रीजन्स विच वर नॉट क्लियर टू द पॉइंट. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड द explanation and the question answers also. Thank you so much and have a good day.